Hey everyone, I'm kind of pissed off, so I thought I'd make a video about it. Um, Let me start by saying that I think the police, anybody in law enforcement that works on the street, has the toughest job there is, except for the job of a combat soldier. So let me be clear about that up front. Unfortunately, there appear to be dozens and dozens and dozens of what I've termed bad apple cops. These are really insecure people who seem to be anal retentive, obsessive compulsive, uptight, uh, control freaks, is what they appear to be. Now, the video I'm making here was triggered by a few events. The most recent was this young lady in Texas. I'm sure you've heard the story. I believe her name was Sarah Bland. She was pulled over. Texas is a horrible place to be pulled over, let me tell you. Because she failed to use her turn signal when she changed lanes. Ooh, what a criminal. Anyway, the officer, I forget his name, he started out very friendly and cordial and professional. And then he got her driver's license. He went back to his vehicle like they do to their computer to run a check. And according to news reports, that took about 5 minutes. And then he came back, and his attitude was almost 180 degrees the other way. He was hostile. He was snotty. Uh, Now, admittedly, when he told her to get out of the car, she balked. She refused at first. She was smoking a cigarette, I guess, and he didn't like that, and she wouldn't put it out, and he told her to get out of the car. Well, she did get out of the car, and then, like they always do, or often do, he moves her out of the range of the dash cam. But you can hear her saying, "You're breaking my wrist," and then she gets slammed to the ground. Now, he said that she was hitting him with her elbows, and maybe she was cuffed by then, I don't know. And then she kicked him or something. So, anyway, she was slammed to the ground, and long story short, in jail, she supposedly committed suicide. Now, even if she did commit suicide, uh, that doesn't relieve that officer of all responsibility, because I don't think she would have committed suicide had he not been the way he was, so hostile, etc. Anyway, that was one event that triggered this video. Another one was a while ago. It was a guy on horseback in Southern California. Surely you've heard about it or seen it. He was being pursued by deputies. I don't know what all he had done, but one of the things he had done, he stole that horse. Well, eventually he felt he was cornered, I guess, and when the video, shortly after the video gets started, he dismounts. He lays down on his belly on the ground with his arms and his legs spread out. In other words, I give up, and no hidden weapons or anything. So these 4 or 5 deputies, I can't remember, uh, they come running into the camera view and they start kicking him in the head and the ribs and beating the hell out of him with their fists. Now, you know, videos never tell the whole story. I'm aware of that. Everyone's aware of that. But I don't care what this guy did prior to the start of the video. That kicking him in the head and ribs and beating him with fists when he was clearly giving up was totally, utterly unprofessional. Plus, it was assault and battery. Because, and here's the message for you bad apple cops, and really everybody in law enforcement, In this country, you are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And you guys are not a court of law. So even if you suspect the person of something, even if that person is a suspect, they are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And if you're going to be professional about it, you need to treat those people as being innocent. Instead, you seem to be, some of you, seem to be treating them with hostility and disdain, and as though they're the world's biggest criminal. That needs to stop, because you bad apple cops are turning everyone against all police and sheriffs and law enforcement in general. And that's got to stop. So that means that you people in law enforcement, the big mucky-wups up the food chain, you need to clean house and get rid of these insecure, uptight, anal retentive people who have no business being in law enforcement, no business whatsoever. Now, the third thing that triggered this video, I recently learned about civil asset forfeiture. Now, this isn't criminal asset forfeiture, where a guy is arrested for being a drug dealer, he's indicted, he's put on trial, and they seize all his assets. That's not due process either, because he hasn't yet been convicted. But that's another story. This is not the criminal side of it. This is the civil side of it. And here's what it is. Apparently, it's against the law now in this country to carry a significant amount of cash, because you can be pulled over, say you're on the highway. This can also happen in a plane or on a train or, a bus or anything. If you have a significant amount of cash, the police can just take it from you without charging you with anything. No charge, no indictment, no trial, no attorney, no nothing. They just take it from you. And they say, and you ask them why, and they say, well, because this is a large amount of money, and I suspect that you're going to buy drugs with this. Who gives a damn what you suspect? You have to prove that. Having a large amount of cash is not against the law. Come on, you law enforcement people. Wake the frack up, will you? Come on. This is just common sense, for crying out loud. And also, this business, I've seen this over and over now. Cops get a suspect on the ground, and there's, 3 or 4 or 5 of them piled on the guy. And one of them has his knee on the suspect's head. The suspect is, has his head to the side. He's flat out on his belly with his head to the side on the ground. And on top of the head is this cop's knee, and the full weight of the guy, you can tell from his position, the full weight of the guy is on that knee. He's grinding that guy's head into, sometimes, the concrete. Again, you're doing that to an innocent person. In this country, people are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And finally, I'm going to cut this off here. It's getting a little too long. Finally, I have this to say. You cops, most all of you, you don't understand that laws, no law, trumps the Constitution. No law trumps the Constitution. Just because there's a law that says we can't do this and we can't do that, and you're arresting us for it, doesn't mean that it's constitutional. Come on. Have you read the Constitution since the 8th grade? Or maybe it was the 9th grade? I doubt it. For example, the Patriot Act gives FBI agents the permission to write their own search warrants. That's blatantly unconstitutional. It violates the Fourth Amendment, which clearly states search warrants must be written by judges. I can't understand why people don't scream about this. This is not right at all. And we've become a police state, pure and simple. So anyway, I want you bad apple cops to, by the way, the one in Texas, he says to the woman, the young lady, he points his stun gun at her. It wasn't a taser, I don't think, it was a stun gun. And he says, "I'm going to light you up." Well, here's a clue, officer, whatever your name is. You better light yourself up. You better enlighten yourself as to what proper procedures and policies are, and you better start reading the Constitution, and you better start realizing that people are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. For crying out loud, you bad apples, you can't take a little verbal abuse from someone? You can't take a little argument from someone? It pisses you all off and you got to go ballistic? What are you, in the 7th grade? Wake the frack up and do us all a favor. Get out of law enforcement. Here's what you could do. You could go into sanitation. You could become a sanitary worker. You can ride in a garbage truck and you can throw those garbage cans, those polyethylene cans, you can throw them down to the ground. You can kick them all you want to. I don't think you're going to get a complaint about that. At least nothing like counties and cities are getting all over this country because of you bad apples. I mean, cities have paid out millions and millions and millions of dollars because of you bad apple cops. And once again, I'm not talking about all cops, and I'm not even talking about the majority. But there's too many of you bad apples. So get out of law enforcement. Light yourself up for a change. Okay, that's all I got. I'm pretty tired. I've been up all night. Anyway, thanks for dropping in, and I hope to see you next time. Everybody be well. Whoops. See, I haven't done this for a while. I forget how to do it. Okay, be well.